call the June 12th, 2024 meeting of the Ogden Town Board to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd ask that you remain standing for a moment of silent reflection and prayer for military servicemen and women serving around the world, as well as for our first responders. Thank you. Well, thank you all for attending tonight. We've got a couple of presentations to start our meeting, and so I would like to ask, I guess, everybody from the Rangers Robotics team to please come forward, and we'll just do a quick little recognition for your achievements.
Come on down.
So this is a group of individuals, for those of you who don't know, who right around, would we say, the beginning of January, you sort of kind of get what the year's goal and instructions and what the theme is of the year for robotics. And then basically you spend every day for, I don't know, 27 hours a day working on these robots and not just that, but working on what your goal is when you put together the chairman's group and you're talking through what the mission of the year means to you, and then you present that and you compete. I mean, in every facet of this, it's not just we built a robot and let's go drive it around. It's really teaching a very wide range of skill sets. You got the nerds, obviously, that build the robots, and then you've got the very particular crafty, we're the drive team. You've got the people that you blame because the robot broke, right? And then you've got the suits that give the speech and whatever. And behind the humor of all of that, the truth is that there are real tangible skills that are being learned, that reading a book, while helpful, is not going to provide the same elements as the hands-on learning. And so for a very long time, this board, myself, we've supported in different ways this program that is the Rangers Robotics team. And it's really fun going to these contests and seeing numbers that have 5 digits when yours has 4. And that's because you've been a team long enough and have not just performed at a high level, at the highest levels, but you've also mentored teams, right? And teams from other countries that you have helped get into this. And so what I appreciate the most is not just your accomplishments, but what you're doing to really plant the seed in future generations. And when I say that about other teams in other countries and things like that, I'm also saying that about my own kids, who are actively involved in your program, some of which have been teachers of theirs. Sorry if they've been a handful, they are. But I want you to know that your work and determination, your achievements, and the frustrations along the way. I know your very first competition, where was that this year? The new robot, which you guys did a great video on, immediately broke, right? Something. Yeah. On the playoffs. It stinks. And I remember seeing the video of that you guys put out, and it was, first, the video was very well done, but what you guys had was absolutely excellent, and that's frustrating. But what I try to teach my kids is in that there's something to be learned, right? And there's something to help you get better at what you're trying to do. So thank you not only for your accomplishments, but for the example that you guys have been. How many of you are seniors? So I said this years ago to someone who is a senior who has come back a number of times and invested back into the team. Not this guy, but look, he was on the team, I remember, and has come back and invested in the team. That you guys have planted the seed for future generations to do this. And it's important, and it's really, I want you to really understand that part of that is realistically when you look back at this, you see that there's something more than just the time that we spent. It is the years after that that you've sowed into the next generation of people. So with that, I actually won't spend a huge time on this because I spoke a lot and then, invite you guys to speak, but I want you to understand the gravity of what you guys did accomplish. And banners are great, that's your motto, chasing banners, but there is something that's not visible that you have passed down, and I need you to know why that's important, not just to the school, but to the entire town and our society, that they have people that they can look up to as well, and that's you, just in case you're wondering. So, it says, whereas in its inception, the Spencerport Central School District Rangers Robotics program has demonstrated remarkable success, providing students with invaluable hands-on experiences and lasting memories, and through participation in various robotic competitions, the team collaboratively designs, builds, and programs robots to compete in specific challenges, offering each participant the opportunity to develop critical teamwork, programming, engineering, problem-solving skills. Under the guidance of esteemed program mentors such as Joe Galina and Zach Case and others, Spencerport's Team 3015 recently concluded another successful season, securing victory at the Buckeye Regional in Cleveland. He always crush that one. Ohio, earning the team its 20th Blue Banner. They've also received 2 autonomous awards, and qualified for the first World Champions in Houston, Texas, for the 11th consecutive year. Spencerport Ranger Robotics Team 3015 embodies the spirit of following one's passions, pursuing dreams, and pushing the boundaries of achieving through hard work, dedication, and innovation. So now, therefore, the town board, the town of Ogden, is pleased to recognize Spencerport Rangers Robotics Team 3015 for their exceptional achievements and contributions during the 2024 season. Congratulations.
Well, obviously, thank you guys for having us, and obviously all the parents and town members, and obviously you guys. This wouldn't be possible without you guys. So it's very special to be back here helping out my first year teaching, but it's not special without you guys and the amount of work you put in and the dedication you have to this team, and what you do for the community. Obviously, the parade last week was very special, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing everyone, how much they cheer for you and how much they appreciate you guys. So it all comes down to the amount of hours you spend, and you guys definitely do that. I hope you learned something. So thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Can I have everyone line up for a quick photo?
Here, from all this. Cheers, guys. It's going in the classroom. I don't need to touch it anymore.
Aaron, Sal, Steve, you guys want to step back in front of that?
Nobody wants to see us, they want to see you.
That's great, thank you.
Well, hold on one second. Let a couple of the parents get in there. And for sure, thank you, parents. I'm positive there was more than one trip back and forth to the school district to come and transport and shuttle and support. So it's not unnoticed that they're standing here because of efforts that you've made to make sure that they're available and trained and ready. And Zach's not bugging you, I'm sure. But thank you to everybody.
I went
and
last
appreciate
Friday,
you.
Saturday morning.
Sal's side was there.
It was like a pit stop on a NASCAR race. They opened the doors and man, this shit full, and it was like 30 seconds in the car.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
That was good. We did a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
So
you.
it was good. It was a good show.
You don't have to.
And I had electronic computers on my steps on, computers and this and that, whatever. I had one thing of shredding and a couple boxes of.
Awesome. Yeah, you got my email? Yep. All right, thank you, sir. You got it.
We changing boxes, they changing chairs?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so it's good. They did a wonderful job, that's why.
Oh, I thought we were trading chairs.
Oh, well, we can.
Okay there. There's definitely some. That's okay. Dan gets the chair that beat you.
I hope he knows it.
Kick it again.
Are you the nerd?
Oh, you got it off.
1, 2.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, love obviously being able to do that. And next up, we've got John Cohen, the director of the Ogden Farmers Library, to give us a bit of an update. How you doing, John?
Good evening, John.
I think everyone in front of me knows me, but just in case behind me, I'm John Cohen, I'm the library director for Ogden Farmers Library. And I'm here because when you very generously gave us the proclamation about a month and a half ago, I realized I've not actually spoken from this body about what a modern library does, and not everyone knows what a modern library does. Mike was speaking about the robotics club is about more than just book learning, and I think a lot of people still think libraries are books. And of course we have books, and of course we have CDs, and of course we have DVDs, and of course we have audiobooks. We're never going to not have those. But we supply ebooks, we supply streaming media through our Hoopla and Libby services. We just started our seed library with Ogden Farmers Library. We probably should have had a seed library long ago. You can get seeds in the spring, plant them, and bring us seeds in the fall, and they'll be our seeds for distribution next year. And then, strangely, we have guitars and ukuleles for borrowing. That's just the physical objects. I want to talk about a little bit what we do in the broader context. We are your town's technology access for the citizens. Every day we have people come in looking for jobs on our computers. Also other computerized tasks that maybe they don't have a computer at home or they don't have a printer at home, things like that. Jess yesterday helped someone send court documents to Corfu Court. I think she got a ticket. And, I helped someone try, I didn't succeed unfortunately, but I helped someone try to renew their pistol permit online. So for people who either don't have or don't understand computers, we're there to help. We have a copier, we have printers. Those have been very helpful lately. People don't always have printers at home anymore. They need to print UPS labels or whatever. And our copier came in very helpful, something probably we don't want to think about, but during the assessment protest period, we had many people making copies in our library. Without an Office Max or a Staples, copying and printing is a big thing. We have wireless access throughout the library, and we also supply tech help. We have at least 2 sessions a week, usually more, where one of our staff will help someone learn how to do something on a computer. Maybe they got a new iPhone and they don't know how to set it up, or maybe they want to use Libby and they never have before, things like that. So we do a lot of tech training. We have our local history and genealogy collection. I know the town and village both have local historians, but we supply all that with resources to the public. We are actually the largest genealogy collection in the county, outside of Central. And of course, the town and village historians also come to us for our resources within the library. We have our reading garden, we have our play wall, resources for kids. Actually makes the library a family destination. Those of you with kids know that sometimes when you bundle up all the kids, you need a place to go. And we are one of those. We have programs all year round. We're just starting our summer reading program, which is our big summer program to keep people involved in reading through the summer when they're not in school and they could lose those skills. But even aside from that, we have year-round, we have the Lego Club for kids, we have the Drawing Club for kids, we bring in the Rock Dogs, which are therapy dogs. Those are all for kids. For teens, we have a writing club. Well, it's donuts and writing, because kids like donuts. Kids like donuts. Study halls, crafting programs, and adults, again, book clubs, but also genealogy and local history programs, more crafts, and we even recently had a concert. There were actually more musicians at the concert than attendees, which sounds bad, but there were 35 musicians, so 29 attendees was actually pretty good. We do outreach in the schools, we do outreach at Senior Center, we go to Canal Days, try to announce the library, bring the library to Canal Days, and in the summer we do story time at Springdale Farms, so we also are out in the community. And the most important thing about a library in the modern day is that we are a third space. We're the last place you can just sort of exist, especially the last indoor place. You can just sort of exist in the modern world without spending money. You go to a coffee shop, you gotta buy a coffee. We have tutoring space, we have space for people to work, those are our quiet study rooms. We allow teams opportunities to volunteer, which they have to do for government class and for honor society. We have the meeting room, I think it's the last meeting room other than this one that people can use for free in town. We're open pretty good hours, and we're warm in the winter and cold in the summer, if nothing else. So if your AC breaks down, you can go spend a couple hours at the library. I wanted to bring up one thing. Last fall, you helped the library go fine free. I wanted to express my appreciation for that. Give you a minor update. Obviously, it's only been 6 months. There'll be more data as time goes on. Donations are up a little bit, not a tremendous amount. General goodwill is up. That's hard to measure scientifically, but we're getting a lot of positive response to it. And the increase in average lateness of a book has only increased about 3/4 of a day. So I don't know the exact number, but if it was 6 days before, it's 6 3/4 now. So it's not too much of a loss of the books. We do all this for about $31 a year per resident of Ogden. So in library terms, that's a hardcover and a paperback each. And I know this is a presentation, but if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
There was actually two pretty big things that have happened. One that was a pretty significant change, and the other that was a grant, right?
Yes.
So, do you have 2 grants going on right
We
now?
have 2 grants going on right now.
Okay.
We have a grant from the ALA to put handicap doors on our bathrooms, because our bathrooms have not been handicap accessible. It's been one of the big, I don't want to use the failings of the library, but a problem with the library for a long time. And we just got a computer grant from the state.
Right.
And so we replaced all our computers.
And John had approached me on that one grant, and what's hard is that, the building belongs to the town, so what can they do that kind of is mutually advantageous? And we talked about bathrooms. I mean, it's an area in the town that's open a lot more than any other areas, and people that want to come in. But then we also advocated for some other change in the state, which recently.
Yes,
Got it.
so we're getting a little bit into the weeds of library law here, but we are an association library. If anyone really wants education about what that means, talk to me off this. I don't want to make Noel type the entire thing. But basically, the type of library we are is not automatically eligible for funding through the Dormitory Authority of New York State. It has to be specifically put in through legislation. So Mike and I, with Josh Jensen, had that law passed. So should we need to add to the library or build a library building or something to that effect, we can now get that funding through the Dormitory Authority.
Great.
Anybody else?
Gentleman behind is asking a question.
I have one quick, you said you have meeting rooms available, how many people does that hold?
That's an excellent question. The little fire marshal sign says 70. I would think it'd be more about 50, in all honesty.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Keep up the good work. Okay, from here, we've got approval of the minutes, resolution 175.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Hinman, seconded by Councilman Gerbino. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, we have privilege of the floor. If there's anybody that is here that wishes to address the board at this time, this is the opportunity to do so. All you have to do is raise your hand. Yep, come on, state your name, address, and fire away.
I'm Mark Kessel, I'm at 190 Woodger Road. I was here a couple of months ago, I'm the guy who teaches the snowmobiling and the boating courses. And I did get a call from Recreation and was basically told, we don't have any, everything is planned for the rest of the year. One of the reasons I asked the question is, New York State Park sent out an email because Brockport Library
If they got a meeting room,
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, and you're on the radar for rec as they put together next year's program. Yeah.
I don't need to give up another weekend or two.
Sure.
You know, but, just to go, I know, talking to the people at the Brockport Library, we mentioned, the new Brianna's the director said, maybe next year we gotta do 2 classes,
Yeah.
so, but if that holds 70, that'll be a good size room to do it, and I know that, I did some at Riga, and they had their multi-purpose room.
Yep.
And the year that personal watercraft, so it's been a while, personal watercraft went, everybody had to have it. We had 80-some people sign up.
There's a lot to go through it.
Yeah, and I kept calling people, and it was Memorial Day weekend. Why'd you do it that? Well, we did it that way because I was involved in Boy Scouts. It was the only weekend the Boy Scouts weren't doing anything. But we had 62 people, and the next time I used the room, the plaque on the wall from the fire marshal said,
There you go.
so I think we overstepped the limits of it. But anyways, I
Very
just
good.
wanted to make a comment that Rex said they're full. These guys have a room, so we'll see, maybe we can do something there.
Excellent. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Is there anybody else that wishes to address the board at this time? Seeing none, I'm closing privilege of the floor. We'll move to reports and remittances. Resolution 176,
So moved. Second.
moved by Councilman Tom, seconded by Councilman Baker. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next is town audits, Resolution 177,
So moved. Second.
moved by Councilman Tom, seconded by Councilman Baker. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Again, 2 letters under correspondence for your review, and then we'll move to reports from town officers. So, I've been spending time with our town's historian, met the intern that we have and the grant that was approved by this board. A lot of work going into the 250th celebration of the United States, that's next year, 2026. And there's good conversations. Obviously, it's a ways out, a lot to be done. But some of the changes that they've made over there, they're really honestly getting things moving in the right direction at Little Red. We've been having discussions about Veterans Memorial Park and a grant that we are pursuing. The due date is sometime at the end of July. And been having, conversations with other towns. I know the town of Chilai is working on a new Veterans Memorial, not necessarily a park. And in trying to expand our current park to include all conflicts after Vietnam. But one of the things that we learned is that while the town has been maintaining it, and the village has always said that it's the town's, it actually is the county highways right-of-way. And in this charter that they had from 2017, it actually says that the onus of the maintenance is on the village, who we've been maintaining it and made sure that I told the mayor I'm not looking to, get some back-owed pay for all of our maintenance, but we might have a hard time applying for a grant on property that we don't currently own. So at least we know it. We can apply the grant someplace else if we can't get this going in time, but having that conversation with the county before we get going. But we are having a landscape architect kind of put together a rendering of what it might look like for us. So that'll be something coming in the future. Brian Thompson and I had a great conversation with the higher-ups at Amazon. They are actually going to apply for their building permit, and all the talk throughout the last 2 years, they're right back where they started, and it's going to be a sortation facility. They really needed to get Rock 1 opened up. That's the big Gates plant, and this is kind of the medium-sized supplemental that kind of works hand in hand. So our expectation is that their build-out and plans and everything are going to go through this summer into the fall with construction, and they're optimistic about a January or February full launch. They are obligated to launch by like July of next year, so not really doing a favor, but appreciate that they're complying. And that should go kind of hand in hand with what I'm guessing is maybe next month's proposal for the residential project over there. I know we had some concerns regarding the way that that was gonna sit next to the Amazon building. I know that the developer changed some things, and that'll come before us at a later date, but those kind of go hand in hand. I did attend what we call FLIMHIT, and this is our consortium for healthcare. And I should have brought the packet, but a lot of things that they're keeping an eye on. Prescription drugs happen to be the largest thing that's causing additional increases in healthcare. Obviously, this is really important to us as we budget. They're not gonna give us numbers till extremely late. So we're gonna have to make some educated guesses when it comes to budget time. But I do have that packet. I apologize I didn't bring it. I'll make sure that the board can take a look at it. We are equally looking to update our town's website. I believe we had a 5-year agreement with the company that we were working with, and we have an option to renew. And with that renewal, we could end up with a free redesign. We're talking with them. We're also gonna open up conversations with other vendors just to see what else is out there. We spend a lot of time looking at other town websites. We really want something that is very simple for residents to just go to the department instead of these whole like drop-down menus, and then you kind of move over and then it all disappears, you have to go back up. So we're looking at some redesign. We do have a committee on that that's really helping, so, yeah. I explained, and I'll explain briefly, yesterday I gave a very brief presentation of our comprehensive plan at the Rotary Club luncheon. They were very happy to see what was going into that, and that it really was supported by the community who essentially built it. Met with Andrea and Christian, speaking of our parks plan that was in tandem with the comprehensive plan, really to just start to map out, there's a lot of things in there, but really starting to map out what are the priorities to get done in all of the various parks that we have, so that as the years go on, we can prioritize our budget accordingly. And we'll give updates as that goes on as well. I've been meeting with Charity on updating the employment manual, but also with Charity and Christian on mission statement and core values and implementation of that, and how we're gonna roll that out to staff. And then just continuing to explore campus safety initiatives with EAP. We looked at lockdown protocols and emergency panic buttons and things of that nature, and we got something set up, I think, for next week to meet with almost an add-on to our current phone system, which keeping these systems intact instead of having 5 of them is my preference. So that's what I have.
Mike, any update on the CSX bridge?
Yeah, well, I guess. It remains closed. Someone had told me that in the parade, someone had yelled, "That's the guy that's supposed to fix my bridge." I'm trying. We did apply for a grant, several grants actually, through Congressman Morelli and Congressman Schumer. What I understand is that Congressman Morelli gets to pick 15 grants, and the bridge is one of the grants that he selected. It's an $8.2 million grant, something like that. But I did receive a phone call from the county that they did have a conversation with CSX, the law departments. So we're at that point where nobody's trying to be kind to each other anymore. And CSX did make several concessions, although they're not admitting that it's theirs. They're just saying that they'd be willing to help contribute. So my hope is in a short amount of time, we at least have a plan, and then that'll probably take a year to go through, if not longer, so.
Yeah.
Trying to be optimistic.
I know.
I'd like that to be over.
Surprisingly, that's the one thing that I get the most questions on from
Yeah,
the community, so.
the thing that we don't own or have control
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
But it's in your town.
That is correct.
Right, you got it.
Yep. All right, thank you. Councilman Baker?
Thank you. I just wanted to give a really quick recognition to Chief Gray from Ogden Police and his officers for a great job that they did during the Fire Department Carnival last week. I know Saturday evening, we had what could have turned into some potentially dangerous activities going on, but with their help in the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, peace was restored and everything was calm. So congratulations to him and his officers. They were great help to the fire department, and we appreciate their work. So thank you.
Very good. Councilman Gerbino?
Start with kudos to Highway Department personnel, Highway Superintendent, and also the county employees. I stopped by the recycling system they had in place, and for a one-day event, the complexity and then the simplicity of how they seemed to manage it with the number of people going through and how efficient it was impressive, and everybody seemed to have a good time doing it, which for a work system is always good to see. Also, unrelated, torch run, we had our torch run on Friday, and I'm going to speak to a kind of an off piece of it, that despite the fact that it's always successful, the town supports it, the police agencies from around the county are all part of it, and it supports Special Olympics. Kind of unique, we were started out in dry weather, halfway through, the rain started to come, and the point at which it started to come, if you don't know, all of Spencerport school systems, almost every piece of the building process, or the building systems, the students all come out and they greet and high-five the runners and all of the Special Olympics athletes. And as soon as the torch run hit the main drive and was coming up the main drive, the rain started to fall. And what was actually both unique and kind of heartwarming, it was torrential downpour. And the students were weathering it, and the athletes, the run, it's an outdoor run, so they kept going, and the students were high-fiving, and everybody was having the best time of all, and the support went both ways. The students were seeing what it's like to support the athletes, and the athletes were just having a ball with both the weather and what they were seeing. So thanks to everybody from the town, the board, the police department, everyone else, the highway who helped out. It was very successful.
Yeah, very good. I had it in my notes and I didn't mention it about the torch run, but it's great that it's hosted here. And little sort of side note, there's a young man named Jacob Babcock who has been such an ambassador for Special Olympics from Brockport, and he's a former athlete of mine when I coached the unified basketball team there. But what I didn't know, and I should have known, is that he's actually the son of one of our special police officers and one of the people that owns the cleaning company that's here. And so one of those moments, like, how did I not know that, but also how cool it is that just how close that community is and how close it is to all of us. So really cool, and appreciate the torch run and everything it stands for. Very good. Councilman Hinman.
I don't have much tonight, but I did want to add to what Councilman Baker was saying, especially when we have the carnivals in town. There's a lot of eyes are on Ogden, Spencerport, and I just really appreciate the job that our police department did, especially with the reports that came out and things that happened and went down. They were on top of it, and they kept everyone safe. And I didn't hear on my part, I didn't hear many complaints. People were happy with it, and they were very happy with the whole turnout of the carnival and everything that happened. So that's all.
Very good. Councilman Toms?
Yes, thank you. I also attended the reception for the torch run last Friday, and outside the damp weather, it was a good event. And everybody showed up, wet, of course. They all seemed to enjoy it, and it was great support for the Special Olympics. And I also spent a couple hours Saturday morning at the hazardous waste and e-recycling event over at the highway. It was well attended, and it was also well run. So the residents really brought in a lot of stuff. I'm surprised how much e-waste actually came in through there. But again, another great service for the town.
glad it's going there and not on their front lawns.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Very good.
Thank you.
Dan Wolf, Highway Superintendent.
I'll start off with the fuel system. I'm working with Austin Mohawk, Bill Beach. He believes the canopy will fall under Sourcewell, under Sourcewell contract, so that will be good. The OSG falls under the fuel system itself, under theirs. He believes, well, that is under their OSG. There is a contract for both of them. Bill Beach, I told him I gotta have the contract number for the canopy. I can't just take your word on it. That's the way it goes. So that we're still working on. We started the parks and pathways down Pine Way to start doing them today to fill in some time. We're gonna start Manitow Road next Wednesday, mill it, pave it. We're paving it the following week. Late this afternoon, I got the okay that Eastridge Road is now back on, which is, it started out to be roughly an $800,000 job. It's probably gonna go within the millions of dollars with piping and stuff that we're gonna end up doing on Eastridge Road. So it'll be county profits to the town. So we're gonna have that go through. Oil and Stone's done in the town. They're gonna pave the roads, paint the roads hopefully either tonight or tomorrow morning. Take those signs all back down. We'll start the slurry seal sometime in the middle of June. As Councilman Thompson Gerbino said, we did roughly about 400 some odd cars that went through that thing that morning. We turned in, I think it's 14 boxes of electronics, so that's a lot of electronics that we collected. We collected humidifiers that we're not supposed to collect, so we collected 7 of those. And I happened to see an ad for Echo Park, and they're gonna go over there tomorrow, and he's gonna take care of it for us for no charge on bringing them over there. So that was a good thing. Also, the councilman, I sent you all an email this morning in regards, there's some Facebook chat about a gazebo in the town of Ogden. The gazebo has been on town property for roughly 37 years. It started out with a complaint from a resident over there about the gazebo. She's in her 70s, and she was asking if the town could pull the bushes out of her property around the gazebo, bring it back to natural grass, and asked if we could do something with the gazebo. So I went out and checked the gazebo, and as I checked it, the rails were all solid, the picket fencing was all solid. So at that point, I decided for $40 a gallon of paint, and have a couple of my guys go over and paint it and scrape it. You know, it's been on town property for 37 years. I don't know if it was Ed Marinetti, if it was Gay Lenhart, who said they can move this to this position, but it's there, it's on town property. Usually, I explained to her that something like that's on our property, we don't maintain it, we would just destroy it and throw it away, and she was kinda hurt by that, so I said we would paint it and fix it up for her. So that's it on my report.
Very good. Noel Burley, Town Clerk.
Just been busy with lots of different things going on. I just got back, I attended a conference regarding records retention. I was gone on Monday and Tuesday. Some new interesting facts that we're gonna have to change a couple things, but we will continue to keep every single piece of paper that we have.
Fantastic. All right, Dan Shum, Town Attorney.
Last couple of weeks really have been involved with rezoning. I guess that's the hot topic in the legal community. We had one public hearing a couple weeks ago. The resolutions are in there tonight. I prepared the resolution to have a public hearing on Shepherd and Gillette rezoning. Those resolutions could be scheduled at the next meeting for July. Regency Oaks is going to be another rezoning. Talked with, I think it's called Parkview Center Phase 3 at Stonewall. And they're extremely happy that the local law was passed, and they're now going to be applying to the planning board, of course, for their approval. And as the supervisor mentioned, I remember this conversation 7, 8, 10 years ago about Memorial Park, and I've had some good working relationship with the county law department the last 3, 4 years, the gentlemen that are there. I'm hopeful we can move it through very quickly. I just did one for a private citizen, a client of mine, where there was this triangle of 2 roads that got removed, and the county actually ended up owning this triangle, didn't know it. We eventually figured it out that they did own it, and they sold it to the adjoining owner, who's been using it as their front yard for 15 years or so. So the county is not unrealistic in those approaches, especially when they're not ever going to be using that for a highway. So I asked Noel to get a file, but she got one from Holbrook, Nellis, and Toffany, which was before my time. And I'm willing to just jump in with whatever we have and get it done so we don't lose the money.
Yeah, again, the grant's at the end of July, but, and we're gonna move forward
Well,
with.
end of July is soon.
I know. We're gonna move forward with making sure that we've got a concept that we can send. The grant's up to 600? 675, which really would honestly cover the cost. And the ideas that we have, I'll share it another time, will help with that.
Okay.
But one of the caveats is that we not only need to get the permission from the county, but we have to reach out to the abutting property owner.
Yeah.
And if
I
they
saw
want it
that.
for some reason, then we're out of luck, or we can purchase it, I guess. But it didn't seem like the county was looking for anything
No, other than-
monetarily, so.
Good, that's it.
Very good. There being no other unfinished business, we will move into new business. Madam Clerk.
Resolution 178, negative declaration of environmental significance for local law number 4 of 2024. A local law of the town of Ogden providing for the application of section 278 cluster development to parcel ID 087.01-1-8.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerbino, seconded by Councilman Hinman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 179, authorizing the enactment of local law number 4 of 2024.
And so moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerbino, seconded by Councilman Hinman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 180, scheduling a public hearing to consider the application of Titan Rock LLC to rezone from light industrial to general commercial, the property at 10 Regency Oaks Boulevard in the town of Ogden, Monroe County, New York.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Baker, seconded by Councilman Toms. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 181, authorizing budget modifications associated with contractual consulting services furnished by Harder Seacrest.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Tom, seconded by Councilman Hinman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 182, authorizing the acceptance of a grant from the Division of Criminal Justice for the purpose of updating law enforcement equipment for the police department.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Gerbino, seconded by Councilman Toms. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 183, authorizing Ogden Town Supervisor Mike Sale to execute a contract agreement with Rosie's Housekeeping LLC for the provision of cleaning services at the Ogden Community Center, Ogden Police Station, Little Red Building, and Pineway Ponds Park Lodges.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Baker, seconded by Councilman Hinman. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next, please.
Resolution 184, authorizing the appointment of Janelle Gomez to the position of part-time, non-competitive clerk 3 in the Town of Ogden Personnel Department.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Hinman, seconded by Councilman Toms. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. I will make a motion that we go to executive session to discuss contracts, appointments, and to consult with our town's attorney.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we are going to adjourn to executive session. Thank you all for coming.